April 10th, 2025. Mark that date in your heart, mind, and spirit, because on this singular day, an alignment so profound will shake the very foundations of what you know, what you feel, and what you believe is possible. This is the day Mercury, the cosmic messenger, conjoins with Chiron, the wounded healer, igniting a chain reaction across our collective consciousness unlike anything we have experienced in decades. If you've felt aches in your soul that you couldn't quite name, if you've caught yourself revisiting old traumas at unexpected moments, if you've sensed an unspoken urgency to forgive, your body, your mind, and your spirit have already been anticipating what's coming. Because what's about to unfold is the culmination of countless years of prophecy, hidden archives, and cosmic orchestration, an energetic crescendo that can liberate you from your deepest emotional chains. They don't want you to know how powerful this moment truly is. You see, we've grown accustomed to hearing about astrological events in passing, a fleeting mention of retrogrades or new moons, bits of half-baked astrology that barely scratch the surface. But behind the public veil lies a treasure trove of ancient scrolls, cryptic manuscripts, and taboo records kept in secret vaults. One of them belonging to a hidden British library that recently leaked documents verifying the extraordinary potency of the Mercury Chiron conjunction. We're talking about data that detail how this pairing accelerates emotional clearing, triggers psycho-spiritual phenomena, and opens gateways of healing that remain sealed for years at a time. Most of the world will remain oblivious, walking through the routine of life without suspecting that a catalytic wave of cosmic medicine is about to wash over them. But you, right now, stand at the threshold of a crucial choice. Will you pay attention to the signs, or will you let this opportunity pass by? Alvin Storm, a master astrologer with over 30 years of cosmic forecasting under his belt, has personally decoded these hidden archives. Renowned for his uncanny accuracy in predicting planetary alignments, volcanic energetic surges, and global shift points, Alvin has been entrusted by sages and spiritual councils across the globe for his advanced insights. He's advised major figures in the holistic community, guided transformative retreats from the Andes to the Himalayas, and even contributed to top-secret NASA-led research on electromagnetic resonance patterns in our solar system. Alvin Storm doesn't merely rely on ephemeral feelings. His knowledge fuses empirical observation, quantum field theory, shamanic journeying, and the carefully guarded transmissions passed down through lineages that trace back to Sumerian stargazers and Vedic astronomer priests. When Alvin speaks of an event's urgency, it's not hype. It's a clarion call with real cosmic implications. Over the past few years, the Earth has been inundated with heightened solar flares, magnetosphere fluctuations, and gamma-ray bursts from distant galaxies that have collectively altered our planet's resonance field. You may have heard talk of the Schumann resonance spiking to unprecedented levels. You might have noticed intensifying patterns of weather anomalies. These are not random. They represent an accelerating cosmic dance, a crescendo that sets the stage for April 10th. While Mercury and Chiron have met before, this conjunction arrives amid overlapping cycles of eclipses, solar alignments, and cosmic infusions of photonic light that amplify everything. The result is a unique synergy that effectively turns up the volume on our emotional, mental, and spiritual states, making it far more potent than past alignments. In this video, you'll discover exactly why this Mercury Chiron conjunction is such a monumental turning point and learn how to harness its healing potential before the window closes. You'll gain exclusive information drawn from Alvin Storm's advanced astrocartography research, leaked manuscripts from that secret British library, and correlational data from quantum energy studies. Most importantly, you'll receive a practical framework for releasing the heavy baggage that no longer serves you. By the end of this presentation, you'll have insights on the major signs, symptoms, and solutions that can guide you safely and triumphantly through this energetic gateway. You'll learn Alvin's own 3-step core wound release ritual, a powerful process to ensure you don't merely survive this transit, but emerge on the other side reborn, resilient, and radically free. So stay with me until the end, because every moment of this revelation will pave the way for your personal metamorphosis. Now, let's unravel the phenomenon step by step, weaving science and spirit, history and prophecy, personal stories and universal truths. Because once you grasp the significance of April 10th, 2025, you'll never look at the sky or at your own heart the same way again. First, let's address how a seemingly distant cosmic event can directly affect your emotions, your body, and your life path. In the realm of quantum physics, everything is interconnected through a vibrant matrix of energy and information. Particles once entangled remain influenced by each other across vast distances, a phenomenon that has baffled even the most rational scientific minds. Mercury, known as the messenger of the gods in ancient mythologies, corresponds symbolically to communication, thought processes, and the intricate electromagnetic patterns that pulse within our neural networks. Chiron, often dubbed the wounded healer, represents that deep, unhealed aspect in each of us. A psycho-spiritual imprint we carry from childhood traumas, ancestral lineages, and even past life experiences if you subscribe to that worldview. When these two forces align in the heavens, they entangle in a cosmic interplay of frequencies. Imagine two radio towers broadcasting signals that suddenly converge, amplifying each other's transmissions. Recent studies in epigenetics, particularly at institutions like the Institute of Noetic Sciences, suggest that trauma can imprint itself on our genetic expression, creating what was once loosely referred to as cellular memory. This phenomenon is echoed in thousands of case studies that track how an ancestor's major emotional event, like wartime stress or famine, can influence future generations' predispositions. In spiritual parlance, we might call this ancestral karma. Quantum magnetism and electrophysiology also reveal that the heart and brain emit fields that interact with each other and with the larger environment, implying that our personal wounds might not merely be psychological. They manifest as disrupted energy patterns within a shared field of consciousness. To help visualize it, picture a vast cosmic sea with swirling eddies and currents of energy. Our personal wounds are like anchored weights in this sea. When Mercury's communicative currents and Chiron's healing frequency unite, it's as though a colossal, compassionate whirlpool forms, pulling these weights up from the depths to be released. Think of it as a cosmic tide that dredges up old debris from the ocean floor so it can finally be purified by the sunlight. Another helpful metaphor: imagine two lasers converging on a single point, intensifying the beam so strongly that it can cut through metal. In this case, the metal is the hardened shell of our core wounds, our illusions, fears, and traumas. The alignment effectively supercharges the healing beam, slicing straight to our emotional core. History is rife with references to similarly potent alignments. The Mayan Dresden Codex, for instance, alludes to planetary convergences that open portals of healing every few centuries. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, there are subtle hints about a Star-Lord synergy that occurs when Mercury crosses paths with a wounded entity in the heavens. Some scholars interpret that figure as the archetype of Chiron. Meanwhile, certain Sumerian tablets speak of Nungal's Eye, a cosmic watchtower that sees into the darkest corners of the human psyche during special planetary interactions. And in Vedic traditions, the concept of Charakantya, associated with bridging cosmic intelligence and human suffering, resembles Chiron's mythic role. Despite cultural variations, the recurring pattern is clear. When Mercury's quicksilver energy merges with a healing key in the cosmos, humanity is graced with a potent chance to transform. So why now, in 2025, is this event so uniquely charged? While Mercury Chiron meetings occur roughly once a year in various zodiac signs, this particular alignment forms a rare stellium with the Sun and an eclipse corridor that occurred just days before, intensifying everything. Layer on the heightened solar activity we've seen, NASA research indicates an uptick in solar flares, reaching up to X-class proportions, sending waves of charged particles to Earth's electromagnetic field, and you have a cosmic synergy that cracks open the collective psyche. The mechanics of this phenomenon involve more than just Mercury and Chiron's positions. It's as though the entire solar system is resonating at a frequency that encourages radical introspection. You can expect old emotional patterns to surface, possibly showing up in your dreams, your relationships, or your thoughts. Even bizarre synchronicities, like running into an estranged friend right when you're contemplating unresolved guilt, are far more likely to occur now. Take, for instance, the story of a woman named Seraphine, a real person whose name I've slightly changed for privacy. She was initially skeptical of astrology, firmly rooted in a scientific worldview. Yet, in the weeks leading up to an earlier Mercury-Chiron conjunction, she found herself beset by bizarre coincidences. She dreamed of her childhood home for the first time in decades. She repeatedly encountered strangers who shared her late mother's name, and she developed an inexplicable urge to reconnect with old friends she had ghosted years prior. Slowly, she felt an internal stirring, a mixture of anxiety and hope. On the day of the exact conjunction, she experienced a cathartic emotional breakdown that ended with a tearful reunion over the phone with her estranged sister. From that day forward, Seraphine's nightmares about her traumatic childhood ceased, and a sense of liberation took hold in her life. She described it as having a heavy chain spontaneously unlock. That is the power of a Mercury-Chiron collision in the heavens, a cosmic impetus for deep, often unexpected liberation. How can you tell if you are being pulled into this energetic swirl of healing and metamorphosis. There are several signs and symptoms that might emerge, and you need to recognize them as positive indicators rather than red flags of something going terribly wrong. On a purely physical level, people commonly report strange aches or sudden fatigue. You might wake up feeling a dull pressure in your chest or back, or perhaps experience tension headaches that flare up around your temples. Even subtle joint pains could arise out of nowhere. If your diet or sleep patterns are off, you might be more susceptible to these physical effects because your body is trying to process heavier emotional energies. Another frequent occurrence is mild dizziness or a sense of being ungrounded, almost like a slight vertigo. These sensations can be related to shifts in your electromagnetic field. Our bodies, after all, are bioelectric systems, and any solar or planetary alignment can modulate the Earth's magnetism just enough to stir up changes in our physiology. Now, for emotional and psychological signs, you might find yourself in waves of inexplicable sadness or anger that arise without warning. These feelings can be remnants of old wounds being stirred by the cosmic churn. Perhaps you'll sense a sudden urge to cry, or you'll experience a flashback to a painful memory you thought was long buried. Restlessness, mood swings, and emotional hypersensitivity are all common responses. Before you panic, remember that such emotional crises often precede breakthroughs. Think of it like a snake shedding its old skin. It's uncomfortable and disorienting, but it's part of growth. Anxiety might spike, especially if you've been holding onto unexpressed anger or resentment. At first, this surge can feel frightening, but trust that it's your psyche's way of saying, "Let me out, let me be seen, and finally healed." On the spiritual or intuitive side, you may notice your dreams becoming increasingly vivid or symbolic. Maybe you keep seeing repeating numbers like 1111, 333, or 555. Synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that defy rational explanation, could become a near-daily occurrence. You might repeatedly hear the same phrase on television, radio, and from a friend, or find that you think of someone mere moments before they text you. These are clues that your intuitive channels are opening up. Some people even experience mild clairaudient or clairvoyant sensations, hearing faint whispers in moments of stillness or seeing flickers of light in their peripheral vision. While it can be disconcerting, it's typically a sign that your spiritual senses are expanding. In the context of Mercury Chiron, this expansion often points to messages or guidance about resolving old traumas, an inner voice urging you to face the past head-on with compassion. As for relationships and environmental shifts, don't be surprised if you feel an aversion to people or settings that carry lower vibrations. Perhaps you'll suddenly find a close friend's constant complaining unbearable, or realize that your workplace environment drains your soul. Conversely, you may feel magnetically drawn to meet new individuals who share your evolving mindset, or to explore novel locations that spark your curiosity and creativity. This reorientation is part of the alignment's mechanism. It reveals which connections support your healing and which keep you stuck in old loops. Some individuals notice they can't stomach the same shows, music, or even social media accounts anymore because they sense a fundamental mismatch in vibration. That's Mercury Chiron's big spotlight, illuminating what no longer aligns with your authentic self. Many of you may now be wondering, so how do I prepare? The good news is that you don't need to be a spiritual adept with decades of meditation experience to benefit from this cosmic wave. But there are some tangible steps you can take, starting with physical preparation. Because your body is the vessel through which these energies will pass, it's crucial to keep it as strong and clear as possible. Consider tweaking your diet to include high vibration foods like organic fruits, leafy greens, sprouted grains, and raw nuts. Foods that are minimally processed tend to carry more prana, or life force. Meanwhile, heavily processed items, refined sugars, and excessive caffeine can lower your body's resilience to subtle energy shifts. Hydration is another big factor. Think of water as a conductor that helps regulate your bioelectric field. When you're dehydrated, it's easier for energetic imbalances to manifest physically. If you can, start each day with a big glass of water infused with a pinch of Himalayan salt or a few slices of cucumber, both of which can help fortify your body's mineral balance. Gentle exercise, like yoga, qigong, or even brisk walks in nature, helps keep your lymphatic system moving, which is key for detoxification on both physical and energetic levels. Nature itself is a balm. If possible, spend time outdoors, put your feet on the earth, and allow the Earth's natural electromagnetic field around 7.83 Hertz, known as the Schumann resonance, to recalibrate you. Next comes mental and emotional preparation. Meditation is an excellent tool here, not just for relaxation, but for systematically releasing negative emotions. One simple practice is to close your eyes, focus on your breath, and visualize a golden light descending through the crown of your head. Imagine this warm, radiant light flowing into your heart center, then expanding outward in all directions, dissolving the accumulated heaviness of shame, guilt, or resentment. Even 10 minutes of this visualization daily can have a profound effect when done consistently leading up to April 10th. Breathing exercises, such as 4-count inhalations, 4-count holds, and 4-count exhalations, can also rebalance the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, mitigating stress responses. You might find that journaling helps. Record any recurring thought patterns, dream symbols, or emotional triggers that arise. Identifying these patterns is often half the battle in releasing them. Creating a sacred space in your home can greatly enhance the synergy between your internal process and the cosmic energies at play. Find a quiet corner or a spare room and cleanse it using sage smoke, Palo Santo, or essential oils like frankincense or cedarwood. You can place crystals such as rose quartz for unconditional love, black tourmaline for grounding, or amethyst for spiritual clarity around the space. Music is also vital. Sound therapy research shows that certain frequencies, like 528 Hz and 963 Hz, can support your brainwave states during transformative periods. Play these softly in the background or incorporate them into your meditation. If you're drawn to symbols or images, like a mandala, a depiction of the flower of life, or an ancient Egyptian ankh, feel free to display them. These archetypal images can help anchor higher frequencies in your environment. Conclude your space clearing ritual with an affirmation such as, "I create this sanctuary to hold and support my deepest healing and highest transformation." Now, let's map out a practical schedule of what to do in the days leading up to during and after the conjunction. Ideally, in the week before April 10th, you'll begin minimizing media consumption that's filled with fear or negativity. You might block off 15 extra minutes each morning for mindful stretching or journaling. 2 to 3 days before the conjunction, intensify your inner work. Practice a short meditation, both morning and evening, focusing on any emotional burdens that surface. On April 10th itself, try to schedule a period, at least an hour, when you can be alone or in a supportive group setting for reflection or a short ritual. You'll want to tune in deeply, perhaps with some gentle music, candles, or essential oils. If journaling resonates, write down the painful memories you're ready to let go of. If you prefer a more physical ritual, consider a warm salt bath or a quiet nature walk. The key is to be intentionally present with whatever arises. In the following days, keep the momentum going by continuing to practice daily self-care, journaling any new insights, and nurturing positive relationships. Don't be alarmed if more old memories bubble up. This post-alignment period is often when the real integration happens. Now, as promised, let's delve into Alvin Storm's 3-step core wound release ritual. This powerful practice has been refined over Alvin's 3 decades of assisting people through major astrological gateways. He's tested it with small circles of spiritual pioneers, participants in advanced healing retreats, and even some open-minded psychologists who incorporate it into their trauma therapy sessions. While it may sound mystical, it's grounded in both neuroscience, engaging the limbic system and the hippocampus through guided focus, and ancient ceremonial wisdom. Step 1. Identifying the seed wound. Begin by sitting in a relaxed posture, hands resting on your lap. Close your eyes and take 5 slow, deep breaths. Let your focus drift inward to the region of your heart. Invite your subconscious to reveal a core wound that's ready to be healed. This might show up as a memory, a sensation, or a vague emotional imprint. Sometimes it's something from early childhood. Other times, it might be from adolescence or even adult experiences. Don't force it. Simply allow your inner awareness to guide you. Once you sense you've found the seed wound, visualize it as a small sphere of swirling, dense energy. If a specific color, sound, or shape emerges, note it. This is your psychic representation of the wound. Acknowledge it with compassion, as though you're looking upon a wounded child who needs love, not judgment. Step 2. The alchemical embrace. Place both hands over your heart and begin to send loving energy towards that dense sphere you visualized. You can imagine your hands emitting a gentle, rose-colored light, or you might repeat an affirmation. I see you, I feel you, I honor you. The idea is to neutralize shame or fear around this wound by flooding it with acceptance. According to certain forms of energy psychology, this act disrupts the old neural pathways that keep the wound locked in place, encouraging synaptic plasticity that allows new, healthier, emotional responses to form. If tears flow, let them. If you feel anger, let it move through you without resistance. You're transmuting this wound in the crucible of your own heart, turning emotional lead into spiritual gold. Stay with this step until you feel a subtle shift. Often it's a sensation of warmth, relief, or even tingling in your chest. Step 3. Seal and integrate. Now, see the wound dissolving into pure light, returning to the infinite source. Then, Visualize a protective, shimmering field around your body, like a cocoon of gold-white energy that preserves the new healing state and prevents old patterns from reattaching. Affirm out loud, "I release what no longer serves me and fully integrate this healing into my mind, body, and spirit." Remain still for a few more moments, allowing yourself to bask in the calm. This sealing process is essential as it gives your nervous system time to recalibrate. You may feel lighter or even slightly euphoric. Some individuals describe it as if a dense fog has lifted. Drink a glass of water afterward to ground yourself, and if possible, rest for a few minutes before returning to your regular activities. Repeat this ritual for as many core wounds as you feel guided to address, but avoid rushing through them all at once. The intensity of the Mercury Chiron conjunction will make these sessions especially potent. If you find yourself becoming overwhelmed, that's a sign to pause, integrate, and continue another day. Before we move on, let's address some common questions. Q1. Is this Mercury Chiron conjunction going to make me relive every horrible trauma? Not necessarily. It's not about forcing you to revisit every painful moment in high-definition detail. Rather, it nudges you toward whatever is most urgent and ready for resolution. Trust that your psyche has its own wisdom about what to heal first. Q2. What if I feel nothing unusual? That's possible, especially if your daily life is hectic and you haven't carved out quiet time. But subtle changes might still happen under the surface. You might notice in hindsight that certain conflicts dissolve or certain insights emerge with less conscious effort. The energies work at both obvious and subtle levels. Q3. How can I tell the difference between random physical symptoms and those caused by the conjunction? Often, symptoms linked to cosmic shifts coincide with emotional or spiritual stirrings, like intensifying dreams or strong urges to forgive. Keep a brief journal. You'll see patterns emerge if these symptoms are more than random. Q4. What if my loved ones mock my interest or remain skeptical? Many remain unconvinced until they personally experience something profound. Offer them gentle explanations if they're open, but don't let their skepticism block your path. This alignment is deeply personal. You can still ride its wave without external validation. Q5. Do I need any special tools to do the ritual? Not necessarily. Tools like crystals, essential oils, and music can enhance the experience, but the real power is your intention, focus, and open heart. Use whatever resonates and leave the rest. There is also a special revelation segment Alvin Storm insisted we share, gleaned from one of the newly unearthed manuscripts in that hidden British library. When the library's caretaker quietly released copies of certain astrological codices, Alvin discovered a cryptic passage describing a humming corridor that appears to psychically sensitive individuals around the time of a Mercury Chiron alignment. The text explained that, in days of old, initiates used chanting or harmonic singing to enter this corridor, a dimension or state of consciousness where emotional baggage could be dismantled instantly. This corridor is described as both a literal hum in the ears, a subtle, high-pitched ring, and a metaphorical path bridging our subconscious and superconscious minds. The manuscript even mentioned that, during the corridor, some initiates claimed to sense the presence of luminous beings, akin to guardian angels or spirit guides, who assisted in the release of generational curses. If you find yourself hearing a gentle ringing in your ears around April 10th, or feeling as though time and space temporarily warp during meditation, you might be stepping into this humming corridor. According to the text, those who surrender fully to the frequency experience near instant forgiveness and release, like a barrier dissolving. Alvin's recommendation is, if you notice any constant ringing or humming, take a moment, close your eyes, and simply say, "I step willingly into this corridor of healing." You may be astonished at what unfolds. Now, let's talk more about raising your personal frequency, because the higher your vibration, the more gracefully you can navigate this pivotal alignment. Everything in the universe vibrates at different rates, from gamma rays to the cells in your body. When we speak of spiritual frequency, we're talking about the overall energetic and emotional state you carry. Anger, despair, and resentment are dense vibrations, while love, gratitude, and compassion are higher ones. The Mercury Chiron wave can feel harsh if your predominant state is locked in fear, but if you elevate your baseline, you'll find the process more illuminating than painful. You can measure your personal vibration, albeit subjectively, through a simple self-assessment. First, note your average mood. Are you often irritable, anxious, or depressed? Or do you typically feel calm, hopeful, and enthusiastic? Next, gauge your relationships. Do you attract drama or supportive connections? Then, assess how your body feels day to day, heavy and fatigued, or light and energetic. Lastly, consider how you respond to negativity. Do you get easily sucked into conflicts, or can you remain compassionate and detached? By noticing these patterns, you'll get a sense of whether you're resonating in lower or higher frequency ranges. Some individuals like to envision a personal frequency scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is utter despair and 10 is profound joy. Simply ask yourself, where am I today? This might feel unscientific, but it fosters heightened self-awareness. If you find your baseline frequency is lower than you'd like, consider incorporating simple practices that can quickly elevate it. Gratitude journaling, writing down 5 things you're grateful for every morning, shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. Prayer or setting daily intentions can also help, even if you're not religious. You might say something like, "I intend to radiate kindness today, and I invite supportive energies into my life." Simple, but surprisingly potent. Hugging a loved one for at least 20 seconds can regulate your oxytocin levels and create a sense of bonding, raising both your frequencies. Listening to uplifting music, dancing, or engaging in creative endeavors are additional ways to spike your vibrations. Also, never underestimate the power of service. Doing something kind for someone else, no matter how small, can catapult your emotional state into a higher realm. This synergy of high vibrational living will help you integrate the new cosmic waves with ease. To tie these elements together, let's create a brief timeline of what you might expect as the Mercury Chiron conjunction approaches and passes. April 7th to 9th. You might notice heightened synchronicities or emotional stirrings. Sleep could be restless, yet punctuated by meaningful dreams. Consider ramping up your meditation or journaling practice during this time. April 10th, Conjunction Day. the intensity peaks. It's recommended you carve out reflective time. This is the perfect day to do the core wound release ritual or to engage in your preferred spiritual practice. Emotional triggers may surface quickly, but so can insights and a sense of liberation. April 11th to 12th. The energies are still potent. Any breakthroughs you initiated on the 10th continue to integrate. You might feel lighter, or you may be working through the aftermath of what you uncovered. Journaling and grounding exercises remain essential. April 13th to 16th. Watch for signs of transformation. You may find clarity about life changes, whether it's shifting careers, moving to a new home, or reevaluating significant relationships. Support these insights with practical steps. Looking farther ahead, Alvin Storm predicts that the weeks and months following this event will function like a hinge point, pivoting us toward a more unified collective mindset. Although not everyone will consciously embrace the shift, a large swath of humanity, especially those who tune in, will effectively anchor a higher timeline. This could manifest as newfound communities of healers, educators, and visionaries springing up across the globe. Expect the ripple effect. Once enough individuals release their core wounds, the global energy field becomes increasingly conducive to compassion, innovation, and unity. We collectively inch closer toward a 5D reality, a plane of existence defined by heart-centered consciousness and co-creative harmony. Imagine a world where empathy is the default, where collaboration replaces competition, and where individuals see themselves not as isolated entities, but as luminous threads in a cosmic tapestry. But that bright future hinges on us doing the inner work now. A phoenix doesn't rise unless it's willing to burn away its old form. Likewise, we can't expect to join the new earth or the heightened dimensional reality if we cling to the shackles of unprocessed trauma. This cosmic medicine isn't automatic. It demands engagement, courage, and the willingness to look at our shadows without flinching. Yet, once you cross that threshold, the rewards are immeasurable: a renewed sense of purpose, emotional resilience, deeper connections, and a resonant alignment with your higher self. As we reach the conclusion of our journey together, let's recap the key points. First, April 10th, 2025 marks a confluence of Mercury and Chiron, magnified by additional celestial factors, creating an unparalleled opening for deep emotional and spiritual healing. Second, the signs of this shift can manifest physically: fatigue, dizziness, odd aches. Emotionally, sudden mood swings, flashbacks, urges to forgive. Spiritually, heightened intuition, vivid dreams, synchronicities. And relationally, distance from lower vibration, people, attraction to new communities or paths. Third, you can harness this energy proactively through dietary adjustments, meditation, journaling, and by setting up a sacred space that resonates with high-frequency energies. Fourth, Alvin Storm's 3-step core wound release ritual offers a proven route for transmuting old traumas into stepping stones for spiritual growth. Finally, the future that awaits those who heed this call is brighter than words can convey. We stand at the threshold of a new energetic era, one that promises deeper collective unity, compassion, and advanced human potential, if we choose to walk through that door. Imagine for a moment a world in which each person has faced their shadows, integrated their wounds, and emerged with clearer hearts and calmer minds. Families would heal generational strife. Communities would rally around service and creative solutions, and individuals would finally see each other as extensions of one shared consciousness. That is the new Earth, a 5D reality shimmering on the horizon. And it's not some far-off fantasy. It's a living possibility that beckons us the moment we wake up to our own capacity for transformation. So here is my heartfelt call to action. Don't just absorb this information and move on. Take the next step. Share this message with those you sense are ready. Perform the core wound release ritual at least once in the days before or after April 10th. Journal your experiences, record your dreams, and stay alert for synchronicities. If you're seeking community, look for online groups or local gatherings that resonate with this awakening. Alvin Storm himself will be hosting a virtual Q&A and group healing session immediately following the conjunction. Consider joining if you feel called. Remember, we have a limited time window where these cosmic energies align so precisely, so don't wait until next time. The cosmic gates are opening now, inviting you to step into your fullest potential. Will you accept the cosmic invitation to heal your deepest wounds? Will you choose to release the burdens that have weighed you down for years, decades, or possibly lifetimes? The universe is whispering, it's time. And once you do embrace this calling, you'll look back on April 10th, 2025, as the day your entire reality began to shift onto a higher path. Let this moment be your spark of transformation. Let this alignment be the juncture where you say enough to old pain and yes to your soul's liberation. The choice is yours. Step forward and welcome the miracle of a healed and awakened life.